This is Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? You're greatly appreciated. Come on in, make yourself at home. You know the routine. This week for my collection video, I wanted to focus on found footage movies. If you're not familiar with found footage movies, these are movies to mimic real life cameras, handheld cameras, smartphones, video surveillance, news cameras. These are stories to mimic that these are actually being shot in a real life scenario. I love these type of movies because they transcend just horror. It could be adventure, it could be science fiction. And if it's done really well, sometimes they come off as looking really legit. They look real. So I wanted to focus on what I think are the top 10 best, at least in my collection, of found footage videos. So without further ado, sit back, relax, have a drink, have a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. Back at the Black Cave. Back at the Black Cave. We are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. I'm going to kick it off with my number 10 pick for found footage. This is the 2014 horror thriller Unfriended. This is directed by Levin Gabriad, produced by Tamir Bekmambetov, and written by Nelson Graves. I'm sure I've murdered those people's names. This stars Heather Sossaman, Matthew Bohr, Courtney Halverson, Shelley Henning, Moses Storm. The plot behind this: while video chatting one night, 6 high school friends receive a Skype message from a classmate who killed herself exactly 1 year ago. At first, they think it's a prank, but when the girl starts revealing the friends' darkest secrets, they realize they're dealing with something out of this world, something that wants them dead. And the odd thing about this, it came out in 2014. I don't think I watched this until like 2020, 2019, during the pandemic, and it seemed a lot more relevant and extremely creative because the whole online footage is basically Skype video. So most of the found footage is video camera footage or cameraman footage, So doing it online, I thought very creative. Of course, it wasn't scary though, but it's interesting. It's more suspenseful. Pretty much on the line of the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer, that kind of vibe though. And this is a Universal release. Got the slip cover and the standard Universal cover art. So my number 10 pick for found footage, Unfriended. Almost forgot this was so popular that it sparked a sequel, I think in 2015, Unfriended, like Dark Web, something like that. So Unfriended. My number 9 pick is the 2010 drama, fantasy, horror, science fiction thriller film, Troll Hunter. And I'm going to murder these people's names. These are Norwegian names. But this directed and written by Andre Overdal, produced by Marcus B. Brodersen. This stars Otto Jespersen, Glenn Erlen Tosterud, Johanna Merk, Thomas Alf Larsen, Ormella Berg Dumas. The plot behind this: a group of students investigate a series of mysterious bear killings, but learn that there are much more dangerous things going on. They start to follow a mysterious hunter, learning that they're actually a troll hunter. And this is a really fun sci-fi fantasy type film. Again, it's shot from the perspective of students, historians with hand cameras. It was so successful that I think they're coming out with a Troll 2 if it's not out already, or coming out this summer. So this is Magnolia release. Number 9 pick, Troll Hunter. My number 8 pick is the 2008 horror science fiction thriller Quarantine. This was directed and written by John Dowdle, produced by Sergio Aguero. This stars Jennifer Carpenter. You might know her if you ever watched the television show Dexter. She plays Dexter's sister. Steve Harris, Jay Hernandez, Jonathan Shake, Columbus Short. The plot behind this: a television reporter and her cameraman are trapped inside a building, quarantined by the CDC after the outbreak of a mysterious virus which turns humans into bloodthirsty killers. Very cool picture. I'm not gonna give the plot away though. This is a Green Gem, no, Sony release. Nice artwork on the back. Again, another found footage film. Great angles from the perspective of a cameraman in a stressful situation or under duress. So, a pick, Quarantine. My number 7 pick is the 2015 horror thriller The Visit. This was directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan, one of my favorite directors. Produced by Mark Weinstock. This stars Olivia DeJonge, Ed Oxenbould, Deanna Dunnigan, Peter McRobbie, Catherine Hahn. The plot behind this: a brother and sister are sent to their grandparents' remote Pennsylvania farm for a week, where they discover that their elderly couple is involved in something deeply disturbing. And another great film, shot from that first person kind of home camera iPhone view, a lot of times from the perspective of a younger or shorter person, so it gives you more of that real life film footage feel to it. Interesting ending. I know not all M. Night Shyamalan's movies have the greatest ending. They have a lot of build-up, a lot of suspense, and sometimes the endings are somewhat of a anticlimactic or somewhat of a letdown. But this is a fun movie. Again, love the angle of the shots for being a found footage film. This is another Universal release. Got the nice slipcover here. Let's see if it was raised. I think it was just wrinkled. So my number 10, 9, 8, 7 pick, The Visit. My number 6 pick is the 2008 action horror science fiction thriller Cloverfield. It's directed by Matt Reeves, produced by J.J. Abrams. You might know him from the television show Lost, as well as a lot of other stuff. Writer Drew Goddard. This stars Lizzie Kaplan, Jessica Lucas, T.J. Miller, Michael Stahl-David, Michael Vogel. The plot behind this: 5 young New Yorkers throw their friend a going-away party the night where a monster the size of a skyscraper descends upon the city. Told from the point of view of their video camera, the film is a document of their attempt to survive the most surreal, horrifying event in their lives. And this is a great example of more being less. They never really get until like the very end a really full shot of the monster. It's more of the people, their fear, the suspense. It does a great job of building tension, capturing people's fear, with giving you little teases of what the monster looks like, a leg here, a foot there, things of that nature. So if you like found footage, and this is a Paramount release, great one to check into. My 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 pick, Cloverfield. All right, we're halfway through number 5. Number 5 pick is a 2012 horror mystery thriller, VHS. This is directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, produced by Simon Barrett, written by Brad Miska. And the movie's broken into little subgenre or subsets or short stories. You have starring Kelvin Reeder, Lane Hughes, Kentucky Audley, Adam Wingard, Frank Stack. The plot behind this: when a group of misfits is hired by an unknown third party to burglarize a desolate house and acquire one rare VHS tape, they discover more found footage that they bargained for. And I love this because I grew up with VHS tapes. I grew up with people who made their home movies on VHS tapes, so it really seemed relevant, especially this time where VHSs are becoming retro to an extent though, and people still probably have in their basement or in their attics or somewhere in the closet old VHS tapes, and these have these horrific stories on there. So it's almost reminiscent of Tales from the Dark Side, Monsters, that kind of vibe a little bit with the short stories though. So popular. I know I have VHS 1, VHS 2, VHS Viral. I think there's VHS 1 Hollywood that I don't have though, so it's really taken off in popularity. It's a magnet release, and my 10.9.876 5-way halfway through VHS. My number 4 pick is the 2007 action adventure fantasy horror mystery science fiction thriller REC, short for record, especially for you people who know the old VHS camcorders. They used to have the REC symbol when you started recording. This is directed and written by Jaime Balaguero, produced by Carlos Fernandez. This stars Manuela Velasco, Ferran Tiarza, Jorge Yamam Serrano, Pablo Rosso, David Vert. The plot behind this: a television reporter and cameraman follow emergency workers into a dark apartment building and are quickly locked inside with something terrifying. And this is actually a Spanish film. The first movie is actually dubbed into English. I think the rest are in Spanish. And I know I watched the first one. I'm not sure if I watched the other ones though. And they actually have this came separate. This was coming in the box. I added this little box. They have a special 3D version of REC, which isn't that bad. Except the only thing though, it's in Spanish and it doesn't have, I think it might have subtitles, I can't remember though. You have the back art on that. Again, kind of similar to Quarantine, where you have the news cameraman pretty much taking the shot. So you have pretty much of a professional cameraman angle, but also under duress. And again, the other ones, I don't remember if I watched these or not. I know now because my eyes are not that great. If I'm watching something with captions, I have to actually sit up and wear my glasses or my contacts. So my number 10.9.8.7.6.5 pick, REC, aka Record. And might as well show you the whole box set. Show you the other movies too. Might as well. That's the, let's see which one's the first one. It's the first one. REC 2. And of course it's a Shout Factory release. Shout Factory 3. And Apocalypse REC 4. So the Record quadology. Number 4 pick, REC. My number 3 pick is the 2012 drama horror science fiction thriller Chronicle. This was directed by Josh Trank, produced by Greg Buckle, written by Max Landis. This stars Dane DeHaan, Alex Russell, a somewhat young Michael B. Jordan, Michael Kelly, Ashley Henshaw. The plot behind this: 3 high school students make an incredible discovery, leading to the developing uncanny powers beyond their understanding. As they learn to control their abilities and use them to their advantage, their lives start to spin out of control, and their darker sides begin to take over. And who did this? This is Lionsgate. No, 20th Century Fox. Very fun film, very creative. Going into it, you really don't know what's going on. Then you start to see these abilities, and that's pretty much when the story really gets revved up. Shot from the perspective of a teenage or high school student, so you see a lot of random pics of friends and stuff like that, but they do a great job of capturing the action and a lot of the phenomenal things that goes on. So my number 3 pick, The Chronicle. My number 2 pick is the 1999 drama horror mystery thriller, The Blair Witch Project. This was directed and written by Daniel Myrick, produced by Robin Cowie, starring Heather Donahue, Joshua Leonard, Michael C. Williams, Bob Griffin, Jim King. The plot behind this: in October of 1994, 3 student filmmakers disappeared in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland. While shooting a documentary a year later, the footage was found. And even though this isn't the first wave of found footage, I think the first wave being like Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Feroz, those were found footage, but they were more, in my opinion, kind of shock slashers, just from that perspective. And see, there's an old Blockbuster copy here. But this, in my opinion, kind of in 1999 rejuvenated the found footage film and kind of re-sparked the whole home video camera perspective. And with the advancement of technology, handheld camcorders, now smartphones, you're more likely to see a lot more of these. There have been plenty of more since these. So my number 2 pick, and this is the old Artisan. As you see, I haven't been able to upgrade to the DVD or the Blu-ray. If I find it, I'm definitely upgrading to it though. But again, great film. So good at the time, people actually thought this was actually real found footage reality. So number 2 pick, The Blair Witch Project. My number 1 pick is the 2007 horror mystery thriller Paranormal Activity. This was directed and written by Oren Pell, produced by Jason Blum. I think that's Blumhouse Productions. This stars Katie Featherston, Micah Sloat, Mark Fredericks, Amber Armstrong, Ashley Palmer. The plot behind this: after a young middle-class couple moves into what seems like a typical suburban home, they become increasingly disturbed by a presence that may or may not be demonic, but is certainly the most active in the middle of the night. And this is kind of like Poltergeist on steroids, but shot from a home video perspective. They have various videos throughout the house, and they switch from camera to camera. Great concept. This was actually so popular, it spawned, and these are ones in my collection: Paranormal Activity, Activity 2, Activity 3, Activity 4, the marked ones, Ghost Dimension. So they kind of went Paranormal Activity crazy though. Not all shot from the home video perspective, but all of that found footage type of perspective. So my number 1 pick, and who did this? This is Paramount. Another Paramount. Seems like there's a lot of Paramount and 20th Century Fox. Maybe it's just my imagination though. Paranormal Activity. And these are my top 10 best found footage film. Again, it's a mixed match of Universal and I think 20th Century Fox. But if you made this far in the video, smash the like, give me the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and smash the subscribe. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone, please be safe. Deuces.